Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Julie Krog, the founder of Real Creatives. Julie has built a reputation of both a UGC creator and coach. Through her content, course, and communities, she's helped a new wave of creators across all generations land deals, create ad-ready content, and turn creativity into a thriving business. Julie, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to have you here. I'm excited to dive in and learn more. So, can you take me back to the beginning? What was you doing before you started up the Real Creatives, and then what motivated you to jump into the UGC world and get going?
I actually was on maternity leave with my second daughter, and I live in Vancouver, Canada. It's very expensive here. And we were kind of doing the math on 2 kids in full-time daycare versus how much I was going to be bringing in at my old job. And it was going to be less. It was going to be about $600 or $700 a month putting into our bank account with me working full-time, right? Or almost full-time. So I just heard someone on TikTok talking about UGC and you don't need a following and all these sort of things. And I was like, okay, a few months before I go back to school, I could do this. And from the time I heard about it to the time I dove in with everything I had was literally 2 weeks. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, if I think too long, I won't do it. And so I started, and then I started posting about it on social media and, those sort of things. And then I started having quite a bit success, and people started noticing and asking for help. And so I was actually just helping people for a long time for free because I was like, yeah, just being nice.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I was helping so many people for free that it was actually taking away from what little time I had to focus on the UGC business. So that's where the coaching came in, because people were needing help. A lot of Canadians, a lot of parents, especially being like, in the 35 and above crowd, not a lot of people know about this, and they need help because it's such a new thing and there's so many moving parts to it. And now I also help a lot of people do UGC in addition to still doing UGC. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Amazing. So you have the two. How long ago was all this, by the way? Like, when did we start doing it?
January 2023.
Nice. Okay, so we're a couple years in and it's
Yeah.
going. Love
hmm
that. Amazing. And we did touch on it just before, obviously, we started the podcast. The growth and like the rise in UGC at the moment. So how are you feeling with all that? It must be kind of great to be a part of, I guess, and be a part of it in the early stages.
Yes. So it is probably one of the best things that I ever did, was just doing it and not thinking I needed to know things and not waiting for the right time. Because, I even look at people who have started before me, a year before me, 2 years before me, they are so far ahead, right? So it's just things are growing so fast, especially being in Canada. It's like the UK's lead, or sorry, the US is leading, obviously, with the most opportunities, then Canada, and then the UK and Australia. So it's like, we see where the Americans are all taking this, and we don't have TikTok Shop, we don't have the Creator Fund,
Oh,
right? So
really?
it's different for us here. So, it's just exploding here, and times are tough over here, and people are like wanting to make extra money, and everyone wants to be content creators, but everyone's like, we don't have the Creator Fund. And so it's like, that's not the only way, right? And it's absolutely booming right now. Like, it's crazy.
I love that. Amazing. And did not know that you didn't have TikTok shop in Canada. So that must be one of the challenge, like kind of breaking through, and because it's one of the big appeals, especially in Europe with
hmm
UGC, is the TikTok shop and the ease in which you can start up your own
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah. Yeah. We got nothing from
Yeah.
TikTok, from TikTok
Wow.
over here. We just
Right.
got TikTok one like 2 weeks ago, and not that that's a great program, but you can make a lot more money doing UGC, and it opens the doors for so many other things. And even if TikTok Shop does come here, the Creator Fund does come here, it really gives you the tools and the skills as a creator to do so many
Yeah.
different things.
Especially if you've already got it there already, as you say, they're just add-ons. You're just adding on more strings to your belt, more tools, and ready to move
Yeah.
forward. Love that. So, talk to me a little bit about what the business looks like today. Um, So who would you say is your ideal customer? Who do you love to work with? And then from there, what coaching and services do you provide them?
So I don't really necessarily, I feel like I'm more, the business is structured towards probably a little bit of the more mature creators. I really thought about how I would have learned best if I had help in the beginning, being
Nice.
over 35 and not the most technically advanced and, busy with a baby and a house and all these sort of things, another child. And so I really built it like my community and the course for people who have little time, right? So everything is video courses so that you can do it while you're folding laundry or while you're making dinner. You don't have to sit down and read for 2 hours. You can do multitasking, right? And then, a lot of people who are, starting this that are over 30, they just need a lot of help. They need a lot of
Mm.
clarification and a lot of guidance because there's a lot of noise out there. And a lot of times people are taking advice that's, for 20-year-olds and trying to apply it to
Yeah.
someone who's 45 trying to do this. And the advice always isn't, the most beneficial. So yeah, probably the older crowd, the busier crowd, people who have life responsibilities. I really built it for the sustainability, for people to find success and make it fit into their busy life.
Nice. So is it built as a more of a way for them to add on extra income, or are you helping them basically replace their main form of income with UGC?
Like
Is that
whatever they have goals to do. It's actually pretty crazy. Most people, me included, are just like, I want to make $1,000 a month. I want to make 2,000. And I have a grandma who's in my community and she's like, $400 a month would change my
Mm.
life.
Yeah.
And it's like people get into that and then you get into this a year and a half, and 2 years, and you realize how small potatoes those initial goals were. And it's like this world just opens up of so many opportunities. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know my students are, my youngest one is 29 and my oldest one is 68. So it's
Wow.
really, everyone has different goals, right? The older people are maybe they're heading towards retirement. They just want a couple $1,000s to go on
Mm.
vacation. And the younger crowd, the we'll say maybe under 40 crowd are really trying to build like something that can last a long time and potentially
Legacy, no?
replace that income, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so great that you just see it's so varied. And as you say, for just an extra form of income and you never realize how far it can go, where it's gonna take off. You want your $400, your extra like pocket money, I'm gonna say on top of that. But it's such a great field. So when it comes to the coaching, you mentioned there you do video courses. Do you have one-to-one? Do you have a community? What
So
services do you
it's
provide?
a school community. I'm sure you're
Hmm.
familiar with school.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's courses. Like I have like 90 video courses that I've created all by myself.
Mm.
They're broken down into small chunks, so they're not 2 hours long. Some of them are 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes. So really, you don't have to carve out that massive amount of time, and you
Mm.
can do, half an hour here, 15 minutes there, or whatever. And it's really structured in a way, for people to just have the information laid out for them. Tons of tutorials, tons of templates, live calls every single week where people can come ask their questions, like really for the people who need a lot more support, right? So yeah, I
Yeah.
love school. It's a great platform, super easy, user friendly from my end and from the people who, are the students as well.
Yeah, school is great. It's very, as you say, like user friendly. It's applicable for like all levels. It's no complications.
Yep,
And as you say, for people that have got work and need to do this in their own time, in their free time, it's perfect to just log in and log out whenever they have the 5 minutes free, the 10 minutes free.
totally.
Amazing. And then in terms of sales and marketing, so let's get a little bit into the nuts and bolts of the process. Do you have a team that you work with, or do you run all that side of it yourself as well?
I do everything myself.
Okay. And
Yep.
how are you finding how are you finding the one woman show and the many hats that you have to put on all the time?
I mean, I'm very much a control freak, so I like to be in control of how everything is running. Same with when it comes to the UGC side of my business. I don't use VAs, I don't use editors because I'm very a type A type of person. Um, the marketing is like, I'm a social media marketer. That's literally what UGC is. So, it's easy to kind of market this, I do lives a lot. I feel like it's a good way to connect to people, right? Like
Yeah.
you're talking a conversation
Nice.
like this almost, they can see a real
Mm.
person and it's very effective. And basically and I use my social media for organic marketing. So no closers, no setters, no email marketing, massive strategies, like just organic. And it works really, really well.
Amazing. And have you ever thought to put anything else on top of that? So have you ever thought to have some paid ads or increase that by any level, or are you happy with the organic approach at the moment?
The thought, of course, is always there. How can I grow this, right? How can I
Yeah.
make this a massive thing? However, I like to be in control of my business and I like the organic nature of people coming to me because they really feel like they know me and they can get a sense of how I teach and how I can help them. And I feel like you almost lose that a little bit when you're running paid ads for something like this, right? Like for
Yeah.
products and for things like that, it can work, but I just feel like people really need to trust you in order to sign up, right? And I just feel like the organic marketing just works so well. Like I don't want 10,000 people to sign up and nobody do it. I want the people who are really, really committed to doing this because it's not
Mm.
easy. It's a lot of work, right? And I would rather have a smaller community of people who are finding success and loving it and showing up and hitting their goals, exceeding their goals than this massive community of people that are just like, oh, I bought it and I didn't do anything with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand exactly. I mean, they have to have the satisfaction of that. You actually want to help the people, the programs. They need to be going through with it and actually making use out of it. I would
Yeah.
say though, the trick with the ads is definitely that. It's getting the rapport across and like building that connection without doing it organically. That is like the balance. And when a lot of founders come on and they struggle with the ads or they've implemented ads, it is definitely the relationship building that they struggle with off the back of that. Because it's hard. It's not an easy concept to come across online.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, you're running sales calls as well. How are you finding that side of it?
I don't do sales
Oh,
calls.
you don't do sales calls. So what does that process look like off the back of the chat platform? How
Um,
does the sales process work?
so basically, people just find me through social media or they join my lives and they ask questions and then they
Okay.
just join.
Just easy like that. They just sign up and go from there. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially like, obviously I get a lot of a Canadian audience and there's not, there's some Canadian there's lots of Canadian coaches and that sort of thing, but I feel like my story is really relatable. It's really
Mm,
attainable. And when you thinking about this 35 and above crowd, when they see someone who's 20 years old coaching and oh, I made $5,000 in my first month, it seems not attainable and that it doesn't
yeah, I
fit
understand.
into, so my story just resonates with people.
Yeah.
And I think it's really like a pretty good idea of what someone who's busy, like what that path to success looks like.
Yeah, 100%. They resonate with the story. It's a great, and it is 100% true as well, which is awesome to see. It's you're been living an example of how it can work and change your life. Um, of course, the report's going to be there. So let's talk about the next 12 months then. What have you got in store? Are there plans to scale? Have you got any revenue targets or milestones that you're looking to achieve over the next 12 months?
Yeah. I mean, yes, of course. I'm very much in a growth period right now when it comes to the coaching side, and a lot of that is coming from, making sure there's value in the community in the course. And one thing that I've definitely been slacking on is the social proof, right? So I have students that are doing amazing, and my
Yeah.
one student, she's been with me a month and she's already made four figures. And it's just like I need to work on the social proof, right? And then so I'm going to be doing more offering like I don't want to call it like an accelerator program, but like a one-to-one
Nice.
mentorship program, and grow that way as well for people who have a little bit more time and the financials to really invest in
Yeah.
doing this faster. And yeah, I'm actually a part of a group. It's like a bunch of UGC coaches. I don't know if you know any of them, but like
I
Nate
don't.
and Tran and Kelly and
Okay.
Anna, and just like a lot of like the top coaches for, UGC. Everyone kind of has their specialty, right? And coach a little
Mm.
bit different and offers different things. We're all getting together in Nashville in November to discuss the marketing and the strategies and what that kind of looks like for next year. Um,
Okay.
because things are always changing in this industry, right? So yeah, I don't necessarily, have like a set, I'm doing this. I'm just working on, what I have in front of me. I have like literally 3 to 4 hours a day, right? So it's
Yeah.
like trying to think a year ahead is exhausting, and I don't know if I have the mental capacity to think that far ahead, but growth is always on my mind. And for me, it's about what can I do today? What can I do this week, in order to make sure that, in a year from now, I am up here, right? And almost every time I hit a goal in my UGC and coaching side of the business, I exceed it. So, it's obviously working.
I love that completely. Um, what is the goal? Do you mind sharing that?
Like the income goal.
If you're happy to share, if not, don't worry about it. But
Yeah, no, well, let's go back to when I first started, right? My original goal when I was on mat leave was like, if I can just make $1,000 a month, I will be so happy. I won't have to put my kids in daycare and I'll still have an extra couple $100s, right?
yeah.
Well, I hit that my third month with UGC, and my income goals for next year are to be in like up 20K
Oh,
every single month. But again, I don't have the same amount of time that a lot of other people do. I have two different school pickups and two different school drop-offs and all these sort of things. So for me, again, which is the same thing I teach in my community, is slow and steady, right? Like slow growth is sustainable for me with the little time I have. So that's my goal for like next year. But if we're talking, 2 years after that, 3 years after that, I'd love to be in like the 40 to 50K per month. So
honestly, the cap is endless.
it is.
But definitely as a founder doing all the jobs,
Yeah.
the fulfillment side of it will be hard. Do you have plans? Would you like to have a team, like a team of coaches, a sales team on board as well, that help with everything?
I mean, it's not something that I'm like yes or no. I'm very much a relationship person, and I get sold these type of things all the time, and a lot of times I just feel like I don't connect with the person that is pitching me these types of services. So, if I don't like you, I'm not gonna hire you. You know
It's
what I
fair
mean?
enough.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's not out of the question, but yeah.
When the time's right.
Yeah.
Again, I love it. It's fair enough. So let me put this to you. I'm gonna ask you a question here. If you could go back to 2022, 2023, before all this started, and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice, what would you say to yourself?
I would probably tell myself actually to start connecting with other people in the industry sooner. Like we're old over here. Like nobody in our life gets this. They think it's cringy. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's really, really lonely in the beginning. And I am a firm believer that, like if you find your people, you will find your success, right? So we all know like strangers on the internet will support you more than like sometimes people in your life, right? So I would tell myself to start connecting with people in the industry that were a little bit ahead of me, like literally the first week.
Love that. And then, as a final question, just to throw you away, what would you leave to any of our listeners who are maybe thinking about getting into the space themselves? Any advice that you would leave them with?
Yeah, I would say don't overthink it. One of the best piece of advice that I ever heard was literally some random person on TikTok that was like, if you overthink it, if you think, you gather too much information, like you will literally never do anything with it. So, like taking that messy action, even when you have no freaking idea where to put your time, how to create content, what to do. Um, it's just like taking those first steps, right? Like every single person I know who has started UGC, whether, they're coaching now or they've started their own agencies or whatever, literally just did it, right? And they did it when they were scared. They did it when they didn't know anything. They did it when they thought people in their life were going to judge them. And
Mm,
then, you fast forward a couple years and all of a sudden everyone's like, wow, your success is really impressive. And it is no
yeah.
longer cringy and you are no longer scared, but you have to just do it. And this industry is growing so fast. And imagine if I started today versus 3 years ago, I'd be 3 years behind where I am now, right? So just do
I
it.
know, yeah, literally follow Nike's suggestion and just do it. Just go for it, get them. And even to you say what it took you 2 weeks to start up?
Yeah, from the first time I heard about it to the when I created my email and my socials and started learning,
Yeah,
like, yeah, I
2 weeks.
just was like, I'm
You're
doing
doing
it.
it. Yeah, you're doing it. Living proof. I love it.
Yeah.
So Julie, where can people reach out to work with you or connect if they would like to do so?
I would say probably, I mean, they can find me on school. My school community is UGC Real. But also on my social medias, my TikTok is Real Creatives. It's probably the best. You can go through my TikTok page for that. But yeah, we're growing quickly and it's fun. I really love helping people, especially the people that don't expect this to work. And then it does. It's like their
Yeah,
success feels like my success. It
honestly,
really is amazing.
those testimonials, like you say, you need to get working on because they must just be like mind gold, it's just like hits of fire every time because it is such a lucrative world that no one really understands or
Yeah.
interacts with.
Especially for my like Gen X and like I have a couple
Yeah.
boomer
Even
students. Like, yeah,
millennials, I'm a millennial, I'm 30, and even in my mind, I'm like, why was not this around 10 years ago when I was like on Instagram? Like,
yeah,
why is it happening? It's just, yeah, I love
yeah,
it. Great field. Thank you so much for joining me, by the way, and for sharing your journey and insight with us.
yeah.
Um,
Thanks for having me.
you're
I
welcome.
love to talk about it.
I love it. I love it. And we're here to talk about it. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode as well, please do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future by way of listening to your favorite podcast. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we were able to go from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep climbing and we will see you on the next one.